Supervisor of Elections in Sanim is giving us the latest updates in the results. And Ricardo and Calvin are over there right now. You can see the media kind of starting to go over this, start asking questions. So we're going to give you the update right now on what's going on. 5:30.
Huh?
We're live now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 5:30.
Okay, so
Is the next press conference.
uploading the video of Sanim's announcement just now. Okay, so have you got the tally there? The tally that he's just announced.
No, they should be listening to.
No, he just read out.
No.
He didn't take notes.
I thought you were recording, so you're going to
Okay,
recording.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, one moment.
You can go for it.
Would have written it down.
In the Western Division, we have yet to enter data for stations. For the Central Division, 276 polling stations. Northern Division, 104 polling stations. Eastern Division, 25 polling stations. The total number of polling stations remaining to be entered is 609.
609 are yet to be entered.
These data reflects polling stations. Candidates party standing now as follows.
Right here, the party is standing.
193,281 votes. Social Democratic Liberal Party, 98,542. National Federation Party, 80,125 votes. People's Democratic Party, 10,881 votes. Labour Party, 7,761 votes. One Fiji Party, 4,151 votes. Independent candidate Rashida Deo, 790 votes. United Freedom Party, 692 votes. Independent candidate Ben Chan, 100 votes.
116 or 160?
116.
116. Umesh Chand. Okay, so the results
So far,
as at 4 p.m. this afternoon.
It's 140 here, so it should be
160.
160.
yeah, it's 140.
Okay, so the results so far at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Fiji First Party have 193,281 votes. So that is 98,543. National Federation Party is at 18,125. The People's Democratic Party is at 10,881. Fiji Labour Party 7,761. One Fiji Party 4,151. Independent candidate Rashida Deo 719. Fiji United Freedom Party 692. And independent candidate Umesh Chand 160. 160. So we are putting up that video of Mr. Samin's announcement now, and we will. I'll leave you to carry on while I just answer that question.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. No surprise, really. I mean,
Of course, Fiji First is just standing there.
yeah. They're just extending their margin with every single round of votes results that comes in. Now it just comes down to, like we said before, the allocation of seats, which is what everybody's kind of waiting for. There's nothing definite as of yet, but I think it's safe to say they have at least 30,
Yes,
33.
30, yeah, 30 plus seats.
Yeah, 30 plus for sure. And then it's going to come down to just whether or not NFP can maintain their 5%.
Yeah,
Because if they lose that
threshold.
because if they lose that threshold, then they're out. Boom. And then it just becomes a SODELPA
And
Fiji first parliament, which will be extremely interesting. But we have something to tell you guys about, something kind of interesting that we discovered earlier today. Well, the media is all here in this big, huge gymnasium, and we're all talking to each other and everything. And the other day, when the results began coming in, it was actually Wednesday evening when the results began coming in, there was a dark horse that kind of just took everybody by surprise, and that was candidate Vane Seruvakula, and she was candidate number 277.
No, yes.
Yes, and another one that took everybody by surprise was candidate number 297.
Who is Ilachia Vuni
Yayawa.
Yayawa.
And they kind of came out of nowhere, and had quite a substantial amount of votes above. I mean, in comparison to the fact that nobody really knew who they were. I mean, they were topping people like Linda Tumbuya of PDP. They were topping people like Felix Anthony. They were right behind Rotemu Mukepa in third place and fourth place.
Okay,
And
so
it wasn't until today that we realized.
yeah, we can candidates to
There was quite a
297.
bit of confusion when people went into the polling stations, and a lot of them thought they were voting 279, who is
Well, that's what it appears to be.
Tusaya
It appears to be that the people who are dyslexic with numbers or mistakenly cross the wrong number. That's
or just
the
forgetful.
yeah. That's probably what could explain how this is happening here, because you've got 277. She's a former employee of a Vatukula gold mine who is interested in socio-economic development, Vani Seruvakula. And candidate
297.
297 is
Ilachia.
so 297 is what party is he?
So that
Yeah. Is he so that?
What's also interesting now is that the latest result, the official results that's been released. So this is according to the candidate votes. So we have Frank Bainimarama with a total number of 135,245 votes. But then Vane Servukula is not to be seen in the latest list.
In the latest breakdown, can you just go through that?
So we have Frank Bainimarama of Fiji First with 135,445 votes. Then we have Rotemu Mukiapa of Sodalpa with 32,750 votes, followed by again Fiji First Ayase with 8,667 votes. Then we have Sodelpa's Nico Nawaikula, who's jumped up to fourth place with 5,821 votes. And then on fifth place we have Bimanchan of NFP with 5,278 votes. Ilachia of PDP,
Oh, it's PDP. People
People's
Democratic Party.
Democratic Party.
with the number 297 is still
Wow.
amongst the top 10
He is.
with the 3,232 votes.
297, yes.
Yeah.
And
He is.
Ilachia is a former draftsman who hails from Namara village in Nandi.
So I guess it's at the
Looks
expense
like
of Bainimarama. The other two
The votes.
candidates of the two parties have sort of
Yeah.
collected those votes.
Collected those
I
votes
mean,
and have.
but that's
I
the
mean, it
way
looks
that
like
it-
he's going
yeah.
to be having himself
Yeah.
a seat in Parliament.
So that's the way the electoral system is designed, so
Yeah.
it's working the way it should, but with unintended outcomes.
But it's interesting because in the latest result, I don't know, we don't know if it's a mistake by the election office or they've overlooked it, but we can't find Vane Seruvakula
Anywhere in the top.
in the top 5 or 10, or even in the first page of the. This is the official results.
Yeah, so basically, we'll just read them off. To the first page, you've got Frank Bainimarama, you've got Rotemu Mukepa as Syed Kayum, Nico Nawaikula, Biman Prasad, Moses Sendrelawa, Nangama Lalambalavu, Ruveni Ndolo, sorry, Dr. Inoke Kumbombola, Dr. Mahendra Reddy, Anaretu Draki, Ilaichia, there we go, Buniyayawa, Williame Manikiwai Tanyi Veitawa, Zemesa Karavaki, Williame Ngavoka, Pio Tikundundua, Tuliana Mapinitulevu, Fiji first. Quite a few, I mean, the top list is basically Fiji first and Sodalpa. You've got one, I think, NFP, just a few NFP, two NFP members in there. But the fact that they're up there means that they are maintaining that little bit of grounds that they do have right now, because if they do happen to lose that, as the results continue to come in, they could lose their 3 seats. We think they might have at least 3 seats in Parliament at the moment, and they could potentially lose those.
But I think the most interesting thing now is that we can't see Vane Seruvakula on the list, who should have been here.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
we'll need to get check the supervisor.
Okay, so
the feeling though here at the media center in terms of everybody's a bit drained. We've been here for the last 4 days. Everybody's just on coffee.
another issue that's coming up is people who there's a particular candidate who knows she at least voted for herself, and she knows for sure that at least one other person in her house also voted for her. That on the protocol of results from the polling station, there's not a single vote for her, and there's one invalid vote. So even if you consider that the vote for her was invalid, it doesn't explain the absence of the other vote that she knows for sure was cast for her. So these are some of the issues that are coming up now, that candidates are raising, and also supporters are raising. So
Yeah,
I guess we'll know later on this afternoon what are the outcomes of the investigation into the allegations by the 5 opposition parties.
And I spoke earlier to a member of the elections office who said that the ballot in question is a photocopy.
The ballot paper.
Yes, and it's not an actual
Is
ballot
it,
paper.
so
they say
would it be a color copy? Because it was in color.
It was in color. So that's what that's what we need to figure out now, and try to find out and let you guys know whether that was a color copy or if it was an actual ballot, because the elections office has just told us a little while ago that that was a photocopy. And I haven't been able to speak to Sanim at all, but as soon as he's free, we'll try to get him to comment on the alleged photocopy
Okay,
ballot
so
paper.
for those viewers who would like to have a look at the protocol of results, what they look like, or even look for your own polling station, FijiVillage.com has already done a lot of work in uploading the hundreds of polling station results that have come through so far. So
they've got a really cool table.
You can find the link. Well, there's also they have the actual scans of each of the protocol of results. So if you'd like to see it for yourself, you can go to our Facebook page and click on the link from there, or go directly to FijiVillage.com, and you'll see a big tab on the right-hand side of the page which shows the election that, and then you're able to see how many votes were cast for each candidate, and the total number of invalid votes. Judging by the results that have been confirmed so far, the invalid votes are quite low. So it's very low. So it appears that people understood how the system should work and understood how voting should take place. We have Andy Sylvia coming here. Andy Sylvia.
Oh, wonderful. Maybe we can get
We
him
could
to
ask
come
her.
and speak to us. In the meantime, Ulrich is going to speak to Andy Sylvia. Hold up the official results from.
Yeah, so votes. These are like 1,414 polling stations out of 2,025 that have been processed. So Fiji first, from the first results that was released by the elections office, Fiji first is slightly extended its lead with in the morning they had 57.6% of the total percent number of votes, but now they have increased it by 0.2%. Now they have 57.8%. Down by slightly, just by 29.6% to 29.5%, while the others, NFP with 5.4%, AVP and the Fiji Labour Party, they remain as they've been. But talking about the strategy, like we talk a lot about the results and how how this Fiji Fest has sort of really, you know, uh,
Hold ahead.
pulled ahead and showing that a lot of people in Fiji are actually putting their trust behind them. So really, I think something something that we always talk about is the strategy that political parties use, to
Well,
campaign.
yeah, well, it was interesting. I think, and I mentioned this the other day, but I think this is the first time that Fiji had seen sort of like a presidential campaign
Yeah,
where he was out shaking hands, kissing babies,
yeah,
really meeting with the everyday people. And, you know, people from our generation really have never experienced a democratic election. All we really know, I mean, we're cool kids,
yeah,
in essence. So all we really know is coups. And so to see this actually happen, I think it excited a lot of people and excited youth because we've seen these presidential campaigns online and we've seen them overseas and we see the waving and the flagging and the all of the banners and everything. But this is the first time that we'd ever experienced it as young Fijians. And that's where I think the majority of Fiji First got their support was on the ground. They really did the work. I mean, they traveled, they really worked the country, and it's evident in the fact that they have over 50% lead right now.
I think speaking in the lead up to the election, when we spoke to political parties, their leaders, and whenever you asked how confident are you as a candidate and a party, how confident are you of winning the election? And they would be really confident saying, oh, we are going to either win the election or we are going to be going to have a good number of people represented from our party in the parliament. But that has not been the case. So I think some key questions that I would personally want to ask Ayase Payum of Fiji First is what, I mean, we talk about strategies, but what was their strategy? Community elections.
In hindsight.
Yeah. What was their strategy that sort of really helped them get this really layered, traditional strongholds? And
That's what was also very interesting was that they, if you look at, and I tripped to the West day after elections on Thursday, and it was amazing to see areas that normally have been Sodelpa or in the past SBL strongholds just completely all for Fiji First. I mean, you saw people never, and it was interesting as well to see. I went into a home in one of the villages, and there was a group of people sitting around the kava bowl, the ground bowl, and I said, "Oh, it looks like a celebration." They said, "Yes, we're celebrating." And I said, "Oh, celebrating for?" And I saw Fiji First band. I said, "Oh, you must be celebrating because Fiji First is in the lead as of today." And they said, "No, we're not celebrating because Fiji First is in the lead. I voted for Fiji First. He voted for Siddhartha. We're voting because we're celebrating because we got the chance to vote." And I feel like in the end, that's really what we need to start focusing on. I mean, yes, winning is important. I feel for a lot of people, they put a lot of energy and a lot of effort into the campaigns, but in the end, the elections are over. The MOGs have said that they were fair, they were free. The embassies and high commissions have started releasing statements also saying that they agree that the elections were fair and that they support the step that Fiji is taking. And I think it's time for us as a nation now to kind of move on and work together, hopefully in Parliament.
Yeah, I guess everyone wants to move on, move forward, you know. But then again, then when we talk about these politicians from other parties, leaders who talk about the election is being rigged, you know, they have some
Irregularities. Well,
Right now, for us that have been on no sleep.
And the CVM Goro is meeting with the commission at the moment to raise the concerns about this. There was not a single vote for her at Gramba Fijian, and there was one invalid vote, but she's saying that she knows that she voted for some, confirmed to her while she was talking that they did vote for her. So even if you consider that invalid vote was for her, was intended to be for her, then what's happened to the other vote? So she's meeting inside the Electoral Commission cubicle at the moment, and we'll see what she says when she comes out.
Also, we MOG who are agents who were at the polling stations across the nation. And we have we have 2025 polling stations we had across the country. So that it's about 22% of the total.
So observers were at about 22% of the.
So if there were irregularities, there would be. I mean, we can always be open to talk about that also, because can we have observers certain percentage of that?
They'll put out their final report soon, and it will have contain recommendations, and so we look forward to seeing what they come up with, what they say, the in-depth report that they'll come up with. Come up with a brief one to say that without discrepancies that could affect the result. So right now, there were irregularities or incidents that can be questioned. Well, the main point is, could it have been enough to have swung the vote in a different, to affect the outcome of the vote? So I think that's what.
There was this interview that ISFU had on Fiji TV on Close Up, and where he mentioned that he would like to change the uh, uh, the culture of political debate in the country. And right now, by looking at how people have turned out and voted for Fiji first, do you think that there is a place for the ideologies of the past politicians?
I think there's room for that.
Yeah,
I think slowly we're moving beyond that, and that's, I mean, comes a change. Even have a public debate on the radio was groundbreaking for us as a nation, and the fact that we had um, open interviews, talk back shows, and it was the first time that we've ever done this as a nation, and I think that overall it went really well. I think we can work on our approach. Yeah, a bit tougher, when it comes to asking questions. So I think we need to learn that. I think again that comes with culture here that we have here. Our culture is very respectful. It's the culture we have for the Indian descent or region of Indian descent or Ethiopian descent or Tumen descent or it doesn't matter. We have a very respectful culture overall. So for us as journalists to kind of like point and fight for them. So that's something that is immediate and that will I'm sure come with time.
Like uh, your editor's hat and put on your
Okay.
what is your opinion on the whole media as a whole, how they're working, and my main concern is, do we have enough analytical reports coming out for
Well,
people to actually?
yeah, I may not have seen, with a time like elections, they usually have wall-to-wall coverage on, well, especially on the broadcast the channels. People, the, the media companies, for broadcast, TV, radio, they tend to do wall-to-wall coverage. And so sometimes it's helpful that we step back and look at all the information coming through and what does it mean for, what do the results mean? What does it look like? So I understand some of the limitations. Even big media organizations are working non-stop to basically bring out the results and publish those results. So sometimes they may not be back and take in everything as a whole. So that's where we come in, the smaller media organizations. Each of us concentrate in our own niche. We're able to get a good sense of things. So not everybody will follow what we are doing or get information from our site, but a significant portion of people. I think after about 2 or 3 days, at this point, people now want to step back and say, what does this mean for us? The fact that we have the candidate was 277, getting most likely getting a seat in parliament, and she's a complete unknown. That so it's time we are able to see now how some of the ways in which this electoral system is working out for us. One of the side effects of this new electoral system is that because it's a numbering system, events like this of a complete unknown young woman riding into parliament on a wave of votes from people who most likely intended to Wales got into parliament that were sort of, um, candidates from left field coming in from left field to get a seat in parliament. So that's interesting.
Do you feel like the media has been fair and non-biased in all their reporting?
I think on the whole, the local media on the whole has generally done a good job under especially after there was a gap of 8 years since the last time people voted and journalists reported on an election.
Oh, so, here's a member of the media panel, Christopher Chandra, DC. Join us?
We should. We're just having a chat on our stream. So
yeah, we're live.
Oh, we're just chatting into the. So things like the candidate 277, Vanessa Vakula, who's coming in, from left field, and so we are able to see now the kind of outcomes that the electoral system is producing. So it's, or in all likelihood, it's happening because people confuse was that vote because people confused the number for someone else. So it's an interesting aspect that we are now seeing, and so it means that a complete unknown young woman is going to ride into parliament
When you
the
look
vote.
at the votes now,
It
the
has
latest
dropped.
one.
Yes, I know. She's meeting with them inside there. We're waiting for her to come out. It is she's driving the Fijian school. We were just talking about that as well. Driving the Fijian school, and there was not a single vote for her. And so I asked her as well. I said, "Okay, can I ask you, did you vote for yourself?" She said, "Of course." And then she said, and I know she called over to her nephew and asked to confirm, "Did you vote for 161?" He said, "Yes." So even if you consider, even if there were only two votes, there was only one invalid vote. What's happened to the other vote? So that's the kinds of issues. That's one issue. Whether it's isolated or not, we don't know at the moment. So it'll be interesting to hear what they say. Are you going to talk to her?
Yeah,
So,
no, I want to know what
yeah, it's good. I'm also looking out for my, like, if you look for, like, it's easier to detect these kind of things from the smaller parties, the smaller candidates, so that in polling stations where you know for sure, someone or you yourself voted at, and you see the result now, and a candidate you are sure you voted for, cast a valid vote for, does not show up, then it's something that needs to be looked into.
Are you putting your editor's hat back on?
Back on now. So should we do a summary of the results so far? Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers. The summary of the results again so far.
Give it to Kelvin.
So what do we do?
Just a quick summary of the results again.
The latest one.
Did we just get some?
Yes.
This is the
The leaderboard for
leaderboard. 1,416 out of 2,025 qualifications.
so that means we just have how many polling stations to go? 609 as nine polling stations to be confirmed. And
So in first place we still have Medina Rama with the 1,135,445 votes.
so 100 and
135,445 votes. And second we have Rotterdam Cape, so Belfast with 32,750 votes.
32,750.
He has got 8,667. Nico Nawaikula of Sugalpa has 5,821 votes. And Biman Prasad of National Federation Party has 5,278 votes. So these are the top 5.
So the top 5. So as you can see from that results for Bainimarama alone, Bainimarama alone has amassed 135,445 votes of the total 193,281 votes cast for Fiji First. So, excuse me. Bainimarama is an unmistakable lead there.
Yeah.
Let me just look for undisciplined.
So 135,445. Total number of votes so that Fiji first has got is 193,281. So, 3,000. So, so the other members of Fiji First have only been able to contribute 57,836 votes. Collectively, the other 49 members of Fiji First have a total figure of
Okay,
57,836.
that was clarified.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Andisiria issue has been clarified. There's so each polling venue could have more than one station. So Dryburgh Fijian had about 3 stations, and the other protocol of results from the other station shows the votes for 161 on it. So that has been clarified. So that's another issue now with thousands of with at least 2,025 polling stations that encompasses so in each venue could be more than one polling station. So that makes sense now. Okay, let's just give you a view of the media front at the moment. We'll take viewers to the protocol of results. So this is what the protocol of results look like, with each polling station and a breakdown of candidate number and the total votes for that particular candidate. So, for example, at this polling station is Sambeto Central School. If you can see, 279 is 202 votes of the total 344 votes cast at this particular polling station within Sambeto Central School. So this is an example of what it looks like. So this is what the media having to process at the moment and deal with and put up totals. And as you can see, the number of invalid votes are quite low. For example, at this Latoka Methodist polling station, 396 valid votes cast, and there's only one. I mean, there's no invalid votes. So that shows the low number of invalid votes and the fact that people generally understood how they had to vote and what would happen. There's only 2 here, 4 invalid votes, 1, 6. And as you can see, 279 is dominating most of the lists here. That's the large screen on which the results are coming up, the finalized results. Yeah. That's a view of the screen there. These are candidate numbers, names, party, and total votes in descending order from the highest number of votes to the lowest so far. These are some of the media people still present here at the National Media Center. The wall of the protocol of results. There we have the officials of the elections office. This is their section. You can see Supervisor of Election, Mr. Mohammed Sanim there in the blue shirt with his team. And just around the corner here is the data center where the information is coming in and being input into the computer systems of the elections of an electoral commission. Here they are hard at work. 600 or so results from 600 or so polling stations. So we are nearing the end of the count here at the FMF gym in Lagala Bay in Suva. So at the moment, this is what it looks like.
Hey, what's in
See you. So yeah, be able to get a sense of what they are doing. I'll take you to get a view from the top before I head back to Hosanna and Kelvin to continue with the analysis of the results that are coming through here at National Gymnasium, where we're sharing premises with the officials from the elections office and the media. So this is the view from the top, as you can see. That's the data operators, data entry operators, where they are inputting information into the elections office computers. And once finalized, results end up on that big screen there, and they are announced officially as well. Here they are at work. See journalist Samsoni Paretti, Violence Business, and Ritu Narayana Fiji Broadcasting chatting there. Here the Legend FM team. Again. Sally ran from Radio New Zealand. The Fiji Times and Fiji Sun. And so I bring you back to the two hardworking people on Facebook and Twitter. The thing is still.
Kurang nggak bagus apa? I just I just saw the photo again.
So yeah, you could discuss the events of last night when the 5 opposition parties raised their concerns. Industry.